In the second video, we'll talk about how to insert your in-text citations. Before watching this second video, be sure to have done some typing so that you can practice these methods to create your citations. As discussed, you can do one of two things. You can cite your sources using parenthetical citations or using footnoted citations. So we'll begin with parenthetical citations. As you can see, we've got a little bit more of the paper written here. There's some more content than there was yesterday after we discussed how to insert your heading and format everything. Just to keep track of where I need to insert my citations, so far I've inserted asterisks so that I don't forget to cite my sources and so that I don't run the risk of plagiarism. So in this case, if we're beginning with parenthetical citations, what you would do is get rid of the period. You will put the period after you insert your parenthetical citation. So this is a paraphrased source, paraphrased from a source. Note that I do not have quotations, which would suggest that it's a direct quotation. This information was put into the writer's own words, although it still came from another source, and this was the source. This is a website. There is no author information, so to insert your citation, if there is no author last name or first name, the next thing you would consider is the website title. So this website title is Women, Roman, and we'll have to go with that for our citation. So you would open your parentheses, close your parentheses, and the period always goes after you close the parentheses. So there's our first citation. The second citation is for a direct quote. As you can see, it begins here and it ends here. And the website that we got this from, you have to get rid of the period, was in fact translated from the speaker Cato the censor himself. So he is technically the author of this entire piece. Even though there is an editor that probably did some translating, you are still citing Cato the censor because these are his words. We would go back to Word, open parentheses, close parentheses, period after you've done that. So far we've got two parenthetical citations for two websites, one of which had no author, one of which has an author, and there's one more citation that we need to insert, and this is a direct quote from the book that we read, James Durbin's translated version of Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. So here's the direct quote. Because it is Durbin's words that we are quoting, you will need to cite Durbin rather than Shakespeare in this case. To do so, you would get rid of the quote, get rid of the period, open parentheses, enter Durbin's last name. What you need to do with a book source, which is more unique than what you would do with a website, is to indicate what page number this information came from. So here you would put author last name, comma, and the page number that the quote came from, which would be page 63. So this is something that you would not typically do for a website, but that you should do with a book in print. That's it for parenthetical citations. Footnoted citations are not much different. In fact, parenthetical citations are more widely accepted using MLA citation methods. However, some of your professors, some of your teachers may request that you use footnoted citations. They feel that it's a cleaner look overall, that it's not invasive, it doesn't kind of interfere with your writing. So in order to insert your citations using footnotes, you're essentially citing the same exact information that you have in your parentheses. You would instead end your sentence as you normally would. In order to put your footnote in, you would go to Insert, Footnote. Everything is formatted correctly, so all you need to do is click Insert. You'll see that this will bring up a space at the bottom of the page for you to enter your source information. In this case, it's the same exact thing. And this will allow us to get rid of the parenthetical citation. And once again, some people feel that this is a cleaner look. The second thing that we'll have to do here, the same thing. We'll get rid of Cato the censor from here. We will insert a second footnote. Simply click Insert. Because this seems to run to the second page, let's see. Correct, it runs onto the second page. So you'll have the footnote showing on the second page. Once again, you would put the author name, because in this case we have it. And that would be all. You do the same thing for Durbin, which is on the next page. Simply get rid of the parenthetical citation. Oops, where are we here? I'm sorry, it's on this page. You could get rid of this citation. We'll end the sentence normally. Close the quotes. Okay, insert one last footnote. Click Insert. I don't think you can see it. We'll scroll down here. Enter author last name, comma, page number. So as you can see, it eliminates the use of parentheses, and it kind of allows for more of a flow of your paper without the interference of these parenthetical citations. But again, it depends on what you would like to do. It depends on what your teacher requires you to do. There's one last thing that needs to be done in terms of formatting if you choose to do footnoted citations, and that is to be sure that the font follows the font of the rest of your body. So as you can see here, we've got Cambria, which is Microsoft Word's default. We need to make this Times New Roman. And many of your teachers will ask that you shrink the size of your footnote a little bit. Often size 10 will do the job, so that the size of the footnote does not interfere with the text of the paper, which is more important. And doing so actually just pushed our footnote back up to this page. So we'd have to do the same for this text here. You've got to be careful to make sure that everything is uniform for a nice clean look throughout your entire paper. And now we are done. We've gone through parenthetical citations, we've gone through footnoted citations, we've discussed how websites should be cited in your in-text citations, and we've also discussed how books should be cited in your in-text citations. So slight differences there, but it is the same thing every time. So once you get into the routine of this, it should become a little more simple.